Death is inevitable, yet we still live life fearing it. Martin Heidegger even added, "We barely spend life realizing we're alive." The German philosopher Martin Heidegger is the famous author of the book Being in Time. Through his words of wisdom, readers gain knowledge on how to attack life and come to terms with their own death.
But his point is, once you realize that this particular possibility inhabits your existence, it's sort of the warp and woof of it, so that you can either collapse and scurry away from it in fear, or you can face up to it, and then you ask yourself the question, there is that possibility. In the face of that possibility, what meaning is my life?
One of Martin Heidegger's famous truths from his novel is Being Toward Death. Being Toward Death tells us to live in recognition of our own mortality. In order to live life to the fullest, we must live like we are dying. In the film Tuesdays with Morrie, sociology professor Morrie is dying from ALS. When Mitch Albom, a famous sports journalist, finds out his favorite professor is dying, he takes time out of his busy schedule to spend time with Morrie and discuss the meaning of life.
There's a conclusion to my illusion, I assure you this.
Mitch is a sports journalist in Detroit who covers sports all year. He is so caught up in work that he can barely make time for his girlfriend and give back to the community. Living in a constant rush has confused Mitch and his perception of the meaning of life. However, Mitch's legs go weak in shock when he finds his old professor Morrie on the TV of his hotel. Once he realizes that Morrie is dying, he remembers the promise he made to Morrie to visit him. Mitch knows he must see Morrie before he passes, but doesn't know that the visits will change his life forever.
I lived on the phone, made dozens of calls a day. Why couldn't I make one to a dying man? The simple answer was guilt, but it was more than that. I was afraid of seeing him now. I had a thing about death.
Here's my buddy.
Hey.
You're one of the special ones, Mitch. You're gonna keep in touch. You gotta promise me.
I promise.
I failed that promise.
When Mitch finds a way to take time off of work, he travels to Boston to meet with Morrie. While Mitch experiences feelings of fear and guilt, Morrie is overwhelmed with happiness.
I don't get a hug after 16 years? My old buddy, you came to see me at last.
When Mitch and Morrie finally sit down, Morrie brings up death in a very casual way.
Should I tell you what it's like? Dying? That's another subject that makes people uncomfortable. We'll get to it later. Are you happy in Detroit?
Yeah. Best town to be in for a sports writer.
Are you at peace with yourself?
Well, yeah, I can't complain.
Uh-huh. What happened to the music? Wasn't that your passion, to be a great pianist?
Yeah, I gave it a shot. Then I grew up.
You grew up, huh? Married with kids?
No.
Haven't found anybody to share your heart with, huh?
No, yes, I have. Definitely.
Oh. Not enough to get married?
No. Well, yes, I mean, someday. But, just when we're both ready.
Huh. I can see, Mitch, that we're going to have a great deal to talk about.
Mitch and Morrie decide together that they are going to complete their last thesis during their final visits. Mitch realizes that he needs Morrie to restore his clarity, and Morrie needs Mitch to get his messages across to the world through writing.
Time to teach my final course.
About dying.
Not about dying, about living. When you know how to die, you know how to live.
No.
He was standing on the tracks with death's locomotive whistling toward him. His mind had become a lightning rod for ideas. He saw things with incredible clarity.
According to Heidegger's Being Toward Death theory, one can achieve clarity and meaning of life through truly understanding that one day you will die. It's better to acknowledge death than to deny it. Throughout the weeks Morrie has left, Mitch records his words of wisdom and brings up topics such as love, dependence, vulnerability, and death. Through Morrie's words, Mitch starts to focus on the things that truly matter in life. He also starts to attack them knowing that death will soon attack him. Mitch also starts to make a greater effort to pay attention in his relationship with Janine. Life starts to come together for Mitch as he learns that life can fly by when you don't pay attention to it. However, as life is starting to come together, Morrie's life starts to slip away. When ALS finally gets the best of Morrie, Mitch is resistant to say his final goodbyes.
It's happening. It's going to happen.
Yeah, well, I don't want it to happen.
Death ends a life, not a relationship. Love you.
I love you too, Coach.
I know.
Who knows the really tough lessons take a lifetime to learn? The last class of my old professor's life took place once a week on Tuesdays. The subject was the meaning of life.
You know, dying is just one thing to be sad about. Living unhappily, that's another matter.